Ladies and gentlemen, please give applause to the guests to come into our today's venue. Distinguished guests, good morning. And now we officially start the thematic event on automobile. We would like to give the floor to Mr. Sun Xiao, the General Secretary from China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, to hold the session of the keynote speech. Welcome. Distinguished Vice President Zhang Shaogang and Chen Hongbin, Director, dear guests and entrepreneurs, good morning. Welcome to the thematic event on the intelligent automobile. Right now, the acceleration of electrification, networking, and intelligent transformation has become important force for the new industrialization and new quality productive forces. And the second CISCE set up an intelligent auto chain exhibition area showcasing technology and products and enhance the internal cooperation, cross-border integration, and resource sharing. This event is organized by the China Chamber of International Commerce and Machinery Industry of CCPIT, and also get support from WEPA. We are looking forward to discuss the topic of unveiling new technologies in intelligent connectivity and reshaping the new pattern of auto industry. Hope we can bring you a brainstorm feast. First of all, we would like to give the floor to Mr. Zhang Shaogang, the VP of the CCPIT, to give us the opening remark. Welcome. Director Chen Hongbin, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a great honor to meet you here during the second CISCE on the thematic event of smart car. First of all, on behalf of the CCPIT, I would like to extend the sincere welcome to all the guests. According to Presidency, it is very important to maintain resilience and stability of global industrial and supply chain if we want to promote world economic development, and China will deepen international cooperation in industrial and supply chain. In the afternoon of day before yesterday and yesterday morning, Premier Li Qiang and Vice Chairman Han Zheng attended the discussion with representatives and also the opening ceremony of the second CISCE. All of them reaffirmed that China will continue the high-level opening up and send a strong voice to promote the international cooperation in industrial and supply chains. With the development of artificial intelligence, large model, 5G, big data, and other technologies, ICV products are accelerating iteration and landing. It has become an important new business form for the integration between automobile and other industries. And ICV is featured by long chain and high technology intensity. Also, it covers various links, include the raw material, component manufacturing, vehicle manufacturing, market services, and now it has already become the strategic high ground for the development development of global auto industry. Over the past few years, China has promoted electrification, networking, intelligent transformation, and continuously improved the industrial ecosystem, and also to make more efforts in collaboration and technological innovation. We have established comprehensive industrial system cover chips, sensors, computing platforms. And right now, this industry has entered the fast track, and at the same time, China paid greater importance to the international exchanges for ICV and promote trade and investment cooperation, take the lead in the technical regulations on electric vehicle safety, battery durability, and also share dividends with countries. For this year's Expo, we also set the ICV exhibition area to show the vehicle products and services from the raw material to components, and Bosch, Volvo, Geely, CATL, BYD, Xiaomi will also make their debut exhibition of new products and technologies. And we also invite you to visit their exhibition booths and share opportunities and reap results. Today, our topic is unveiling new technologies in intelligent networking and reshaping the new patterns of auto industry. And we hope that we can have cooperation and exchanges with experts, scholars, and representatives. Hope everyone can use this platform, can share your wisdom, and to promote the development of the international cooperation on industrial chain and supply chain, and also realize the transformation and development of global auto industry. And later, we will release the initiative that with the team of the low carbon smart travel, we hope that we can promote can share our wisdom to promote the development of smart and efficient travel, and also we hope leading companies can play their role. Well, when they pursue their own development, they can bring smart and convenient and life experience to all the customers. Ladies and gentlemen, at the largest national trade and investment promotion organization in China, CCPIT has been committed to promoting international exchanges and cooperation. For ICV, we hold events like International Auto Exhibition in Beijing, Chongqing, and also we promote overseas intellectual property rights for the new energy vehicle and organize organizations to participate in the formation of the rules and also guide enterprises to carry out international trade and investment. In the future, we will leverage our capabilities to integrate governments, enterprises, internal and external resources, and to provide the network to serve and to build the high-quality platform and to provide comprehensive services so that those intelligent connected vehicles can travel on the smart road. Finally, hope this meeting a great success. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Zhang Shaogang. Next, let me turn to Director of Operations, Madrid Registry, Brand and Design Department, WIPO, Chen Hongbin. Distinguished Vice Chairman Zhang Shaogang, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, and good morning. We're happy to represent WIPO at this Expo and to be a direct supporter of this particular event dedicated to smart vehicles. Technologies and innovations mean that global economy is increasingly knowledge and information-based. All over the world, invention, trademark, design, trade secrets, data the creation, management, and also the monetization of these invisible assets are increasingly important. Data show that the intangible assets in the business community are over 70 trillion US dollars. This is more than the combined total of the world's top 5 economies. Intelligent vehicles bring together all the high technologies and are seeing an explosive growth. They are also entering the international market on all fronts, and that's why they need to be seen as the intangible assets. We manage 26 treaties, and WTO oversees the TRIPS. Together, they provide the rules for international IPR. With these rules, we can generate a stable and reliable system for the international commercial activities. So, amid globalization, how do you rely on IPR strategy to help the smart vehicle players better develop? How to keep your supply chain resilient and stable? First, smart vehicles are of high value. Their brand image, their identity, and the sense of communities will help determine the consumer choices. And that's why trademark is very important. Also, elaborate and smart design is what a lot of manufacturers use to increase the customer loyalty. Chinese smart vehicle manufacturers are launching into the international market, and that's why it's important to set international strategy for your IPR. And this is why we are going to, together with CCPIT, launch a research report on the trademark protection internationally, which is both timely and relevant. I do hope that the insights from that report might receive more attention from the business leaders here, and I urge all the automakers, including the electric vehicle makers, to see the importance of the international IPR strategy in order to guard against possible risks. We oversee the Madrid system, and it can help provide a one-stop access to trademark protection in over 130 countries. And over 900,000 international trademarks have been registered with us, and they support 80% of the international trade out there. We more than willing to have more Chinese manufacturers use what we have to offer to protect their trademarks. Besides, smart vehicles bring together new materials, IoT, and artificial intelligence. These are all cutting-edge innovations. And in fact, smart vehicles are now very big area of R&D spending. In order to make sure that the R&D spending actually pays off, we encourage you to use the PCT and other supporting systems to gain the exclusivity of the commercialization of your intellectual properties and the pricing right. Besides, the varied and distinctive designs also show your market niche and your competitiveness. In 2002, China joined the Hague system for designs. So through this system, at one application in about 100 countries, you can file the application for the design. We all know market competition is very fierce and there is no avoiding IPR-related disputes. So the risk control system is crucial. Once there are disputes, you can resort to the traditional resolution by courts, but international experience shows that in particular for cross-border disputes, the parties involved are more leaning towards arbitration or other agreed upon means of dispute resolution that are lower in cost. In fact, CCPIT and WIPO have arbitration arms that can help the Chinese car makers in the international disputes. In the interest of time, I won't go to the the technical details, but you'll be encouraged to find more about us in our store. Ladies and gentlemen, WIPO is a UN arm for the IPR cooperation. We are a multilateral platform dedicated to bringing stakeholders together for using IPR for innovations, startups, and economy. We have been working with CCPIT and the business communities of China and beyond for a long time and very closely. Currently, China is working to create new productive forces for high-quality economic development and high-level opening up. There's so much that smart vehicle makers can do. We are willing to step up a dialogue with everybody for the effective management and protection of IPR and other intangible assets. We want to help your international endeavors so as to contribute to the stability, reliability, and sustainability of the international supply chain. Lastly, I just want to wish you all the success and also I wish everybody good luck and good health. Thank you. Thank you, Director Chen, for your speech. We've heard two very good speeches that are very human-centered, strategic, and they talked about the changes and latest developments and plans for the future. So let's put up our hands to thank the two speakers. Thank you, Secretary General Sun Xiao. Next, let's launch the report on the overseas trademark registration and protection for Chinese new energy vehicles. Over the years, China has seen faster innovations in new energy vehicles. Some of domestic makers have set up their international trademark strategy, but they are also struggling with the complicated market environment to better set and evaluate the overseas protection strategies and gain greater competitiveness and influence. Today, the CCPIT Trademark Office, the Legal Service Center, and the Secretariat of the China National Committee of the International Chamber of Commerce will release this report on overseas trademark registration and protection for Chinese new energy vehicles. And let me now turn to Long Chuanhong, the head of the Patent and Trademark Office of CCPIT, who will brief us on this report. Thank you, moderator. Director Chen Hongbin, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Very happy to join everybody at the second CISCE and to brief you on our research on the overseas trademark registration and protection for Chinese new energy vehicle makers. And this sector has seen very rapid progress with growing innovations, and our production and the sales are stably the world's highest, and global competitiveness is market sharply up. President Xi said that new energy vehicles are needed for us to compete not just on size but also on strength. It's important to have more exchange and cooperation so that more can benefit from the latest innovations. As the internationalization becomes the trend, we've set up the international trademark strategies for some of the Chinese makers. In our report, we picked some Chinese new energy car makers and international counterparts, analyzing where they stand in this area and some of the trendiest topics in order to help inform the future decision making. There are 4 chapters. Let me introduce them one by one. Chapter 1 is about where China stands in the new energy vehicle industry. According to data from the CAAM, in 2024, new energy vehicle production and sales continue to grow steadily. In the first 6 months, production and sales were near 5 million, and export was up. Export was about 605,000. In order to truly gain a foothold in the international market, we need to build up innovation capacities and invest more in branding in order to establish ourselves as international brands. Chapter 2 finds 4 Chinese brands and 2 international ones, analyzing from different dimensions their overseas registration of trademarks in order to generate best practices that can be replicated elsewhere. Let me zoom in on NIO as the example. First, the entities for the application for NIO. The overseas trademarks are mostly owned by the Chinese entities, but few are filed by their overseas entities. In 2015, it filed its first overseas application. The chart shows that every couple of years there will be a peak, and this slide shows the services and products that are prioritized for the overseas application. In addition to the Category 12 for the components and the parts, and the Category 37 for maintenance, and also the Category 9 for the electronics, smart driving software, and Category 28 for entertainment. These are the new categories where more applications are being filed, and this is important. The scope of your application should be complete and accurate, otherwise there will be difficulties with the ascertainment of the ownership or with the legal remedy. And this is about the pathway and the territory for the application. For NIO, 45% applications are through Madrid and 58% in single jurisdiction. And this is the continental breakdown. Europe and Asia are the priorities for NIO. Together, they account for about 70% of the total applications filed. And this is the trademark logo evolution. The first stage is the startup between 2014 and 2015, focusing on the Chinese and English logos. And the second stage between 2016 and 2020, focusing on the IPO and also the automobile system, software and hardware. And the third stage started in 2021, focusing on the new models and relevant products and technologies. A lot of the trademarks for the models and derivatives. And in general, the overseas, this is something that NIO takes very seriously. A lot of applications covering many territories and a lot of the categories. In the interest of time, I would just give you this example. But we also have 3 other Chinese makers and 2 international makers in this report.
For the third chapter, it shares about the analysis the hot topics and also provide some solutions. In the first section, it talks about the determination of trademark similarity and products. We summarize the legal provision on the trademark similarity in China and the European Union. And second one, it elaborates on the trademark registration category. And third one, it shares about identification of similar products and production of those non-standard products. And fourth one is to share about the registration of sound trademarks and introduce the protection of sound trademarks. And fifth, it talks about the production of the car model. And sixth one talks about the potential conflicts and disputes and propose suggestions for the infringement disputes. And in the last one, it talks about the general considerations, including the similarity and also the necessity, and also the regional selection for the protection of the trademarks, and also about the maintenance after the trademark is registered. Generally speaking, right now for the Chinese companies, when they make this kind of trademark distribution, they can have the key and timely layout. At the same time, they can supplement in the timely manner with the expansion of business scope. But there is still room for improvement and preventing unauthorized registration of trademarks. In the long run, the Chinese enterprises have been accustomed to the development space within the framework of the intellectual property rules formulated by foreign companies and countries. Right now, the new energy vehicle in China take the lead in the world, and we have the ability and responsibility to propose our solution for the IPR protection for it, and so that we can empower the development of the new energy auto in China. That's all for my introduction. Thank you. Please come back to your seat. And right now, we would like to invite the staff to prepare for the stage props. Please hold on, everyone. And now we would like to invite Mr. Long Chuantong, PTO of the CCPIT, and Mr. Sun Xiao, the Secretary General of CCPIT, and Mr. Zhang Zhichao, the Deputy Director from the Commercial Legal Service Center of CCPIT, to come to the stage and launch the release ceremony. Please place your right hand on the device, and let's make the countdown. 5, The research report on the overseas trademark registration and production for the new energy vehicle of China has been released officially. Please come to the in front of the device and to make a group photo. Thanks for your participation. Please come back to your seats. And right now is a release ceremony that for the co-creating a new future of the low-carbon smart mobility, the joint initiative of the ICV chain exhibitors. With the exhibiting of climate change and climate change, low carbon travel and intelligent transportation become the hotspot. The auto industry as an important part of the future travel, and also it bears the mission for the low carbon transformation and technological innovation. To deal with this kind of global challenge, the ICV exhibitor for the second CISCE will initiate the initiative for the new future travel, and this initiative is led by Geely and Bosch and ADC and Gosun High-Tech and various companies participate actively. And now we would like to give the floor to Mr. Shen Yuan, the VP and also the CTO of the Geely, to come here to announce this important initiative. Welcome. Distinguished Director Hongbin and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. With the climate change, the dual carbon goals becomes more important, and with the development of the technological transformation, the auto industry has been implementing reform and upgradation to promote the whole industry to move towards the low carbon, smart and development, and establish high quality development, and strengthen international cooperation, and to establish the synergy advantages. We propose the following initiative. First of all is to establish the green supply chain and to reduce carbon dioxide in all the links, and to promote the renewable energy and environmentally friendly material, and increase the proportion of the clean energy, and to realize the green needs low carbon development during the production and reduce the footprint during the whole cycle, and promote the high quality development to ensure that we have changes on the cutting-edge technology and also the new trend for the development, and to implement the industry university research collaboration. Thirdly, to use the technological innovation policy support and market mechanism to create a low-carbon, smart mobility ecosystem and promote the development of vehicles, energy, roads, and the cloud. And fourthly, strengthen international cooperation and exchanges, build a low-carbon, smart mobility future. We actively engage in activities such as international standard formulation, technical collaboration, research and development, and market expansion, and promote the standardized cooperation among upstream and downstream enterprises, and also to promote the green mobility in the whole world. Dear friends, we firmly believe that with this initiative, we will drive the sustainable development of auto industry and help build a low-carbon, smart mobility prospect. We call on more industry partners to actively respond to this initiative. Let's join hand in hand and work together to create a bright future for the auto industry. Thanks for his sharing. ICV it integrates big data and artificial intelligence. It is the best example of interdisciplinary sharing, and also it is the innovative hotspot and the future direction for the auto industry in the whole world. And right now, it shares the great support and diversified application, and what the future of the intelligent auto, and how can we realize the sustainable development. With these questions, we will enter our today's plenary discussion. We will talk about how to use ICV technology to empower the future auto, and also how to realize the low carbon development of the ICV. And the moderator will be Ms. Wang Mengjie from the China International Telecommunication and the Television Program. And now the floor is yours. Welcome all the guests. And now we first start our today's first session. It is great honor to become today's moderator. First of all, I would like to invite all the guests here. First of all is Yao Jie from the China Association of Auto Manufacturing, and Mr. Chen Han, the VP of Automobile, and also Nie Xiaoyu from the Jiangling Auto. Please come to the stage. Thanks for you all. Please take a seat. Talk about the SCV. How far it is from us? What will become its future? First of all, I would present this question to Mr. Yao Jie. What's your answer? Thanks for the invitation to China Association of Automobile Manufacturing. In terms of your question, for our association, this is our idea. Right now, for the auto industry, especially the SCV, has already achieved impressive development, which draw great attention from the world. Previously, some guests and also keynote speaker already elaborate and answer this question. The auto industry's development in China take the lead in the whole world for the first time and make good contribution and make China's and shares China's wisdom for the green transformation of the auto industry in the whole world. My own feeling about ICV is as follows. The development of ICV in China already entered a new chapter. Here are some statistics that in 2023, that there are over 9 million cars with LV assistance system, with the increase rate of 5.6% and have a very high penetration rate. And also this year, the penetration rate already reached over 55. And the penetration rate with the new ADAS system already reached 11%. And this shows that this kind of technology is much more prevalent. And also it will set the drivers free. And right now, we already cover those devices, include the chips and also chassis control of the from the cloud, and also the interface between human and machine take the lead, and also steering system and suspension system also witness great development. From the macro policies and from the industrial policies, we also give a lot of support. We have established the national ICV standard and also the access and also the pilot requirement for ICV, and also the application for the road, vehicle, and cloud. Therefore, we can find that our ICV already entered a new stage and also lays a solid foundation for the sound and healthy development in the future. That's my answer. So the hands of the drivers will be set free in future. So what's your idea, Mr. Nie?
So, how far are we from the smart and connected vehicles? And this is how I see it. I think obviously much progress has been made here. I think the mass-produced vehicles with L2 system are already on the roads, and we heard some data just now. Also, L3 is now being commercialized. L4 is in trial, probably in Yizhuang, in Wuhan. In particular, you can even try it yourself. In fact, we are also testing our solution there too. You can give it a try, and you will know what L4 autonomous vehicle is like. So, the technologies are getting there, and they are being used in the real world. That being said, to truly mass-produce them, we still need some breakthroughs. I think technologically, we're talking about the algorithms, 5G, telecommunication. I think these technologies still need to be improved. Also, the regulation. In 2023, the government set certain policies for the entry requirements. And I think these regulatory clarity will help with the safety and reliability of the autonomous driving solutions. Besides, we still need to do something about the transport infrastructure. I think going forward, these solutions will be crucial for the future. So that's what I think about it. Well, I see you are already giving us a commercial about what you are doing in Wuhan. So what is that solution? Well, it's the 萝卜快跑, as we call it in Chinese, our autonomous vehicle model. Now, Ms. Chen, what about the experience for the users? How will technologies improve that? Well, thank you for the question. Good morning. I'm Chen Han from Expo. Many thanks to the host. In fact, we've been here for 2 times, so very happy to come back to talk about what we have learned in this area. We are a tech company dedicated to future mobility solutions, and autonomous driving is at the core of our international competitiveness. And very fortunately, we are also part of the community that released the initiative for the supply chain. In the W14, there is a section for the Chinese and foreign companies. So with Li Tuo and Bao and Bosch, together we are showcasing how the industrial chain is upgraded to become greener and smarter. This year, we also turned 10 years old. In Silicon Valley, in San Diego, we've set up our R&D centers, and also we have branches in multiple sites in Europe. Our global employees are over 13,000. This September, we rolled about 900,000 of our cars off the production line, and that's the cumulative total. In 2015, we entered Norway, and now in Sweden, in Norway and also Denmark, we've set up our outlets. So internationalization is getting faster. By July, we are in 30 countries, including Middle East, Europe, Latin America, Asia Pacific, and also Africa. Now, autonomous driving. On May 20th, we had an AI day. And on that day, we released the world's first mass-produced end-to-end large language model. Now, I know this sounds very abstract. How exactly do you use that model? It might have very powerful features, but what about the experience? Well, the first experience is you can have the AI driving for you. When you commute, when you pick up children, you can set up the pickup points or the destination. And the AI will learn how you drive to that destination, and then it will copy your habit, like where do you start, where do you change the direction, and also at what speed. All of your driving habits will be picked up by AI, and the more you teach the AI, the more it can learn about you. So the better is the experience. And the second is the AI-enabled interaction, mostly through the voice. We rely upon the AI Xiaopi XGPT model. It's an upgraded version with about 800 features. Just say hello Xiaopi, and then you can set the temperature, you can also roll down the window, you can adjust the shotgun chair and turn on the heating function. Everything could be done with the help of that voice assistant. It could also execute your instructions based on the onboard environment. Also, at the end of August, we released our in-house chip called Turing. It's been successfully produced. Hopefully, we want to use it for our car models, the flying cars, and also robots. We want to become an AI automaker for the world using technologies to change the way we travel. Thank you. Well, thank you, Ms. Chen. I think I can definitely see your pride in what you have to offer. Now, we say that China is really a popular destination for the innovations. So, how do we really break the barriers in the supply chain? What are the remaining challenges, Mr. Nie? Okay, the supply chain, I think the whole world, not just China, is taking this very seriously. Globally, and economically, I think the internationalization, the system for the auto industry is seeing a lot of challenges. As the 20th National Congress of the CPC said, it's important to build up resilience and safety in the supply and industrial chain for the sake of high-quality development, so that we can really make the country strong with the help of the auto industry. So supply chain is obviously important, and that also includes the smart vehicles. And I think there are tectonic shifts here, the chips, the OS, and also the cloud, the car, the road, and the infrastructure. All of these are becoming the key factors. The competition landscape is also shifting significantly. We used to, compete on projects. By that I mean, well, we were trying to work with the multinationals, setting up joint projects, that would give us the market and the profits. But now, years later, I think the automobile industry has changed. We are competing now on the products, and now increasingly we are competing on the brands. In fact, the new energy vehicles and the automobile industry in general, China is now, I think, neck and neck with the well-established multinational brands. In certain areas, we are even more influential than the traditional players. So it's really something new, the brand competition. And personally, I think this is possible because of the supply chain, the integrity, the resilience, the vitality, and the sustainability of the supply chain help make sure that Chinese brands could stay competitive. For example, the chips, OS, softwares, and also the road, cloud, and vehicles. I think chips and cars, for chips, I think car makers are the users, but as Ms. Chen said, Expo also has in-house chips. They have cracked that technology and is switching to the in-house chips. In fact, it's also true for many other smart car makers in China. I think chips are now part of the automobile supply chain, and the car makers are increasingly crucial players in the chip industry too. Same is true for the operating system. We all know you need operating system. Traditional vehicles do not really have in-house software operating systems. They are just machines that move you around. But now with operating systems, with the onboard softwares, you have the modern vehicles. That being said, personally, this is how I see the onboard operating system. You have some really industry leaders who are working very hard on it, and it's fair to say that we have so many of these efforts that are going on right now. But to really move to the next stage, you need to build on what has been done in order to have this mass production possible. But this will have to be put to the test in the market. It will have to be tested by the consumers. And globally, I think the automobile supply chain has changed a lot. I see a lot of trends. The decarbonization is also affecting the automobile supply chain. And secondly, faster innovations are creating the ecosystem, the networks. And third is the boundaries are being blurred. And the fourth is digital technologies are an enabler. I think in China, there are also multiple challenges. For example, chips, operating system, I've already mentioned some of them. Now, going forward, it's possible there will be new challenges and new barriers to overcome. Let me take this opportunity to say something about my organization, the CAAM. We are bringing together the entire industry for the high-quality, healthy development. We've done a lot. To begin with, we are bringing together the chip makers and the car makers. Some of the top players are being brought together by us to connect the up and downstreams, and that will help embed smart chips in smart vehicles. And second is to invest in the simulation data bank and also the ecosystem data bank. And the third is to invest in the software ecosystem with the SBA and the API integration. And number four is to invest in the integrated ecosystem working with Auto, Samo, CASA, SDV in order to forge partnership for this industrial chain. We've also drafted the industrial standards. This year we released the 5.1 version of the China Automobile Software Development Report. So what I'm saying is that we are willing to work with the businesses.
So we are willing to work together with all walks of life to ensure the healthy development of ICV and also to fulfill our responsibility as a leader in the whole world auto industry. And thanks for your recommendation of your services. And also there is another question is for Mr. Nie, that how can we integrate the local needs together with international vision so as to ensure sustainable development. So how the company can promote the development of the whole industry. Here are some examples from ourselves. Right now, some countries have more and more and growing needs for the intelligent services of China's auto brands. But first of all, we need to have some planning in the first place. We need to conform the international standards. In different countries, the standards also vary. We should study the local rules and laws. And also for different countries, the road conditions and the environment conditions are different. That's why we need to have verification. These are the key topics that we need to learn from the already established transnational auto companies. The Chinese companies have our own advantages, but if we want to go global, we need to accumulate experience. Another one is for the local market needs and also the habits of the drivers. We need to make the optimization based on the local needs. We need to pay great attention to the relevant laws and regulations for ICV in the local markets, ensure that the products can be tailored for the local regulations. For example, for our product, our new energy vehicle already enters 30 markets. And in different countries, we encounter different problems. And also we think about how can we meet the local conditions and local laws and to make verifications before we sell them. For the whole auto industry and all the auto companies, we should be aware of this kind of point. This is another question also for Mr. Chen, that whether the flying vehicle will come very soon. So can you tell us some used information? And there is the land flying vehicle, and also we show it in our today's exhibition based on the sharing from another two speakers, that is about the international cooperation on the supply chain, because the topic here is sharing the future together. And also for us, for Expo, we also would like to learn from the best practices, and also we strengthen our strategic cooperation with Volkswagen. We learn from each other and also deepen our cooperation on supply chain. At the same time, we find that China is developing the new quality productive forces, whether it is software, hardware, or artificial intelligence. China boasts a lot of the advantages. We believe that the Chinese and IT companies can work together with their overseas counterparts and also explore the global market. As a moderator mentioned, that is about the flying vehicle. When can we realize the massive production, and also how about its sales price? Here are more information. Right now, for our Huitian flying vehicle, it is the largest flying vehicle company in Asia. We hope that we can provide the most secure and intelligent vehicles, and also to make our contribution to the stereoscopic traffic road, and also in the twice Zhuhai Aerospace Exhibition, we promote our maiden flight. And this is also a product developed by us. And we defined a vehicle that can carry it also one can be stuffed into the back of the cars. As for the land carrier, it carried the range enhancement graphite silicon, and so that it can satisfy the flight distance of 800 miles. And also, when it takes the rest, we can make the high voltage refueling. With a full capacity, it can fly 6 times. And for this one, it also have been installed with a powertrain system of 800V. At the same time, we want to ensure the lowest fuel consumption and the highest speed. And also in the Zhuhai Aerospace Exhibition, we also have a signing ceremony. Right now, we already received 2008 orders, and the highest order in the world. At the same time, we are developing our base, and we hope that by the third quarter next year, we can finish the construction of facility. And we hope that by 2026, we can realize the massive production and deliver it to the market. So this is the advertisement. If you have you have time, please come to our venue, that is CW4, to have a visit at our booth. That's all. Thank you. So today, we talk about the development of ICV. For example, the delivery status at upstream and downstream, and also the cooperation between the domestic and international manufacturers. And thanks for all the sharings from the guests. So at the end of this session, and also please come back to your seats, and our second session of discussion will start very soon. Well, thank you all.
好的，那我们现在就在准备这个第二场的这个专题。
We are preparing for the second plenary session.
非常的荣幸。
It is also a great honor for us to invite all the guests who participate into the second session of the discussion. First of all is Mr. Shen Yuan, the Senior VP and CTO of Geely Holding, and Mr. Dr. Kamasat from the Auto Industry Expert of Investment Office of the President Office of Republic of Turkey, and also Mr. Chen Wei, the VP of the China's market of the Gosun Tech, and Xiao Dong from the VP from the AGC, and also Mr. Wang Xiaoming, Director of Industrial Science and Technology Innovation Research Department of CISCE. Please come to the stage. And now we enter our discussion here. Facing the new wave of intelligent technology and a more fierce global competition, how can the auto industry ensure the momentum and realize the green and low carbon transition, and also to make the breakthrough? And what's your view, Mr. Shen? The electrification and intelligence have brought disruptive changes to the auto industry in terms of electrification or the new energy transformation in China have attracted great attention in the world. And recently, here are some news from European Union side also prove that we have very impressive achievements. In the future, we think that intelligence will have a faster speed than the electrification, and many auto companies they take it as an important terminal, and also it will integrate with AR, VR, and other technology, and to provide more possibilities. During our development, we also noticed that the presidency proposed the carbon neutrality and the carbon peak by 2030 and also carbon and 2060. So how can we realize parallel development is very important. To deal with this kind of challenge, we need to find a path. First of all, we need to have the goal, and then we need to determine our path, and we will meet some challenges, and then we will also need to a lot of breakthroughs, and then to reach our goals. Generally speaking, for Geely, we also have our own goal. Right now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 strategies for ESG. First of all, is have one goal and 2 energy driven, and 3 models, and also 4 decarbonization paths. Our goal that is by 2045 realize our carbon neutrality. And in terms of the 2 energies, one is green electricity, and another one that is a green methanol that is free of the carbon, and also that one is the fuel for the Hangzhou Asian Games. And another one is we have 3 intelligent factories. And here are 3 scenarios. One is car, and second one is the logistic cars. We have commercial cars and also passenger cars. For the passenger car, we also have the green logistics. And at the same time, we have our own travel application like Cao Cao, etc. Therefore, we establish the green travel scenarios. And the fourth one is the decarbonization path, that we use the zero carbon material for the manufacturing. And also we have zero manufacturing and the zero carbon fuel. And also we have the zero carbon scenarios. We believe that all these are our destinations. Of course, we will meet some challenges, because to realize the dual carbon goals, it is very hard. To realize carbon neutrality, we need to reduce and consume the carbon before we can realize the negative carbon. Otherwise, the carbon will continue to increase, no matter whether it is fast or slow. Although we have impressive achievements in terms of our new energy vehicle, and also it means that we should be compatible with our electricity pattern. Although during the use, the emission of carbon is zero, but the electricity still comes from our electricity supply system. And right now, there is still a lot of space for China to optimize our electricity supply system. Although we can find the proportion of new energy increases, but there is still a large space to improve. For example, the domestic consumption of electricity in urban areas. And another one is more challenging, that is the awareness of the public, that the public should be more willing to use the zero carbon travel mode and also the green raw materials, so that we can further promote this kind of zero carbon path. I believe that only after we forge ahead that we can realize this kind of iteration. Previously, you mentioned about negative carbon. Whether there are some challenges to realize this kind of negative carbon. Right now, in China, a popular path that is to capture carbon and to use it for the oil industry.
And I think over 85% of the carbon captured is for that purpose, to enhance the oil recovery as the oil drive. And in fact, we saw something last year and also this year, and that is the electric vehicles are still growing, but the growth rate is slowing down. And in the first 6 months, I think the battery electric vehicle growth rate is about 21% quarter on quarter, but PHEV and extended range vehicles are growing at about 100%. And this means, I think, in the future, the engines will play a different role. They don't just provide the power, the propulsion, rather they will help generate electricity. And this means you have to burn the fuel, and there will be CO2 emission. And the most effective solution is to switch to zero carbon fuel that could be made with carbon dioxide and then emitting carbon dioxide when it's burned. In that process, you don't really have extra CO2, and that process in itself will be carbon neutral. And Geely has been looking into this for 20 years, and we have this technology. We could capture the carbon dioxide, and then we couple that with the PV, the wind power, and also water electrolysis. And for every 1 ton of methanol, we can consume about 1.5 tons of CO2s. I'm not just talking about a future technology. In fact, in 2022, in Henan province, we already created the world's largest low-carbon green methanol production base, capturing about 16 tons of CO2, producing 11 tons of methanol, coupling with the hydrogen. And for the Asian Games, we used that fuel for the torch. And that is really the first Asian Games using the fuel for lighting the torch, which uses the fuel that is created by a negative carbon technology. What about Mr. Wang? Well, the first panel was about new energies and also smart vehicles. I think in the past 1 decade and also the next 1 decade, that is still the priority. But we also have the 30-60 target, so 2030 and 2060, the deadlines, and this is rather a long time frame for the carbon neutrality and carbon peaking. And also, the 30-60 target is a national strategy. It's also increasingly an international target. So we, the automakers, must act. Global transport accounts for about 10% of the emissions, and the road transport takes about 80% of that. And that means decarbonizing our vehicles will be very crucial. In 2030, we need to achieve carbon peaking. That's the government target. And in the past 1 decade, we relied upon the new energy vehicles. And I think the production and the sales of the new new energy vehicles this year will be over 10 million, and the penetration will be over 50%. However, the ownership is still less than 10%. Now, with the help of these new energy vehicles, we are on track towards the 2030 carbon peaking target. Also, I think it's not just replacing the traditional fuel vehicles with the new energy vehicles. It's also about shifting to new production processes like green electricity and green methanol, and also green lifestyle. This, however, is going to be a even longer process. In particular, the raw materials for producing the cars need to be low carbon, so the upstream needs to decarbonize. I think the automobile industry in China is overseen by the Ministry of Industry and Information and Technology, and this ministry can coordinate the actions because it's not just about, as I said, the auto industry. It's also about the steel, iron industry, energy industry, electricity sector. They all need to come together in order to deliver the 2060 target for carbon neutrality. We might even hit this target ahead of schedule. I think there needs to be a national strategy to coordinate these actions. And for the auto industry, we need to embrace new technologies, new processes, and new solutions. They are going to be challenging because this means extra cost, and extra cost means you might lose some competitiveness. That being said, I don't think this is just unique to China, and certain places have been, I think, taking the back pedals when it comes to the new energy vehicles, but I think China's commitment is quite clear. So it's a challenge not just for the industry, it's going to be a long process too. Now, we know that new energy vehicles can help save energies, but when it comes to the entire life cycle, Mr. Xiao, how do you make sure that the recycling process is also low carbon? Okay, I am Xiaodong. I'm sorry, I want just to quickly say a few words about my company, AGC. We were created in 1907 in Japan, focusing on glass. And now the new materials, so architecture, automobile, the life sciences and industrial ceramics, chemistry, these are our focuses. We have about 200 branches in 30 also countries. So we are tier 1 and tier 2 when it comes to the automobile industry. I like to echo their message from Mr. Shen. We believe automakers need to be cleaner, smarter, because it's not just about a car industry, it's also about an entire society. So you have to start with the electrification, and then smart technology, and then the decarbonization. And that means planning, production, and also designing. These must all be ready. In fact, the planning and the designing are our bigger priorities. For example, to facilitate the electrification transition, you can visit our store. This year, we are very keen on the solid batteries, and for the sulfide production, we've developed a new process that's about 100-fold more efficient, and the production space is only 1/10 of the current solution. Besides, the current solutions require very pure feedstock, but our solution doesn't. We are working with some of the top players to facilitate that electrification transition. Also, the energy saving. So you have to increase efficiency. Also, you have to invest in the recycling. So about the energy efficiency this year, for the LiDAR and also millimeter-wave radar, we are providing integrated solution. The LiDAR is installed on the car, which really is not that good for energy efficiency, but we can put the LiDAR behind the windshield, and it has extra benefits, less wind resistance, so higher efficiency. Also, it's so much easier for the design because you don't have to save the space for the LiDARs. Also, you have the scraps that could clean the windshield, and that make your LiDAR more sensitive. This is probably difficult for those from the south to understand, but in northern China, you get a lot of dirty windshields, and that could block the sight of the LiDARs. So we are offering an integrated solution for that. Also, with the transition towards smart vehicles, you have more information to process on board. For example, we have the fluorine material or the glass fiber filled material that could enable faster communication on board. So we are taking this incremental step forward to change the design and the planning. That's still on the production end. Now on the recycling end, we have two priorities. The first is, of course, to recycle more of the materials. And the second is to create a system for that. That is by far the biggest challenge, because when you create a system, you need to bring together different stakeholders. It's not just about producing, recycling. It's not just about producing and selling a material. You have to recycle it, and otherwise it will be a huge waste of resources. We are testing this system in Japan, from the upstream to the downstream. Our entire industrial chain partners are working together, all the way from the production to the distribution, and then recycling. The process is traceable and also verifiable. Thank you, Mr. Xiao. I think I see a lot of nods from Ms. Chen, so is this also something you're interested in? Well, thanks. I think when people buy new energy vehicles, it's not just because electricity is cheaper than oil. It's also because of the driving experience. I mean, if you've ever tried the Geely or Expo cars, you would be very much wanting to buy one. But we have to consider the price of the new energy vehicles, and also where we get that electricity. Is it from thermal coal or from other sources? The transmission process will lead to certain losses, but if you use oil, of course you have to have an internal combustion engine and the transmission gear. There will also be some losses. Now, at my organization, I oversee 9 of our domestic battery production bases and 2 material production lines. Now, when it comes to lithium battery, you have to think about the energy efficiency in the production process. I think the top two consumers are this. First is the environment control in the production space, and you have to control the humidity, the temperature, because the lithium battery is very susceptible to the moisture, so you have to be very strict about the humidity control. And we have also been doing a lot to reduce that energy consumption. It's not really just about putting more dehumidifiers so as to control the humidity level. Rather, we want to be more precise, like localized humidity control. And the second point I want to make is most of our electricity is from thermal power. I think in all of our production bases, you have the rooftop PVs.
Especially during summer. Even in the summertime, the power generated by photovoltaic cannot satisfy the daily use. That's why in each base and subsidiary, we also have the optical capture and storage facility. It means that we can store the electricity during nighttime and use off-peak and on-peak electricity advantages so that it can give power during daytime. And also previously, another guest talked about it. Another topic is about recovery. Over the past few years, because the battery has a period of the shelf life, but now it is much more important to realize recovery. And right now, for the for the Gaussian, we have two bases for recovery. Previously, because there are some electricity load in the battery, we will just sink it in the salt water and then we just disassemble them. And then it will bring some polluted discharge water. But right now, we use another recovery method. Although we do not realize our targeted capacity yet, but for all our subsidiaries, they already try to establish their disassembly factory. That's why we need to have a green loop, just as Mr. Han Zheng and also Mr. Wu Hongming also mentioned it. That is about the green transition. So from the manufacturing and the recovery, we can explore this question. And also for Mr. Shen, how can we ensure the low carbon during manufacturing and recovery process? Because we talk about the full life cycle. For the car, the full life cycle, and it involves the ecosystem of the whole industry. To realize the recovery, we need to ensure the raw material is recyclable. Right now, for Gili, this is the second time for us to participate into the CISCE. And also, we establish our topic that to connect the past and the future and to connect the sky and also the road vehicle. When we talk about raw materials, there are two kinds. One is that is the low carbon, that is 1x30. We use this kind of green materials in a large scale. And the second one is the indirect raw material. For example, to use a laser or radar to reduce the power consumption for Link and also for and also for the Milky Way. We use a lightweight material. So it can reduce the weight of the full vehicle and reduce the full consumption and also to reduce the consumption of electricity. This is a topic related to the selection of the raw materials. Secondly, due to some questions, for example, car accidents happen. Some parts of the car can still be recovered. We also have the recycling and the remanufacturing process in our company. When some cars they reach their shelf life, they will be depreciated, but for some part can still be recyclable. Another one is the battery recovery. For Geely, we also have our recovery business. And right now, recovery of copper already 99%, and also for lithium and other battery, the recovery rate already reached 95%. So we can form a large-scale carbon reduction business. And another one is to capture carbon and then to use it. And also for the methyl fuel, we also develop our commercial cars and passenger cars powered by methanol. But previously, we just used the traditional oil or diesel fuel, but right now we shifted to the carbon-free methanol. For the methanol, it composed of also carbon. But in nature, we will use carbon dioxide to make methanol, and then the methanol will generate carbon dioxide. It means that the carbon is a carrier of the hydrogen. So we say that methanol is the best carrier for the hydrogen in nature, because the hydrogen exists in the small molecule. And here are three existing form, that is H2, and another one is NH3. And another one is methanol, that is CH3O. And for the first form and for the second form, they are in the gas form. If we want to realize the liquefaction of it, the cost is very high. We need to reduce the temperature to negative 180 Celsius degree. And also a large carbon will be generated during the storage process. Well, for the methanol is in the liquid form right now. For the diesel and also oil storage tank, they are also available for the storage of the methanol. So by using this kind of technology, we can ensure zero carbon emission. At the same time, we are developing a lot of vehicles. Right now, 30,000 vehicles already operate on roads. For our carbon dioxide reduction, we have already reduced 15% carbon reduction for the passenger car and 25% for the commercial vehicles. And another very important tool, that is the carbon calculation. That is how much carbon is generated during production, during the transportation, and during the driving. We need to have very scientific tool. That's why we have our calculation cloud. That the calculation covers the whole life cycle, not only from raw material, even until the end product. And also, we are the first company to develop and also to ensure the open source availability in the whole industry for this kind of calculation. So by using the utilization, capture, and the calculation of carbon, we form the loop. And I believe that this is a very professional topic. And also, I heard Mr. Chen's word. Your idea for the global auto companies, how can we cooperate to encounter those new challenges during the low carbon transition? Before we talk about cooperation, I just want to follow that kind of the hydrogen fuel that is the methanol. Last night, I paid attention to Mr. Li Shufu's sharing on the World Internet Conference. I believe that before cooperation for the companies, we need to make innovation themselves. So first of all, we need to have our own plan about how to reduce carbon. And then it's about cooperation in terms of the lithium battery. We are thinking about how to ensure faster charging, low temperature, and solid battery development, etc. One important topic is about the energy conservation and the reduction of carbon emission. After we finish our work, then the next topic is about cooperation. Yesterday, during the conference, we need to deepen the labor division and the cooperation to reduce carbon. It is also reliant on the cooperation of OEM. And many customers also ask us that we need to use certain proportion of recyclable raw material. So this is the request from our customer. If we do not have recovery capabilities or we don't have ESG principle, we cannot ensure long-term and sustainable development in terms of our upstream supply chain. For the Golfing High Tech, we think that we have our own unique advantages. Previously, I talked about the energy consumption of battery for our small plants. Every year, it will cost millions for the energy consumption, or even 10,000. For some of us, they do the cathode battery, but in Wuhan, the price is lower. For the electricity price is much lower. For example, for the cathode graphite, there is a very energy-consuming process that we need to rearrange the direction of graphite molecule and to make it in an orderly manner. For 1 ton of graphite, it will need 10,000 V of the power. And for Wuhan, we have the per capacity of 400 tons. So you can know how much electricity it will generate to generate these 400 tons of graphite battery. Therefore, we think about how to reduce the carbon emission, because right now we mainly use a furnace for the baking and the processing. Therefore, for the whole life cycle, for the upstream and the downstream, if we want to realize this kind of decarbonization, we need the synergy. Of course, I just talk about it from the lithium battery perspective. It means that before we have cooperation,
Okay, so this question is all about how we deal with the low carbon emissions during the whole process. Yeah.
Hello. Okay, thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank you for your kind hospitality. It's an honor for me to address such distinguished guests. I'm not an industry professional. I'm representing Turkish government President's Investment Office. So it's a bit hard for me to answer these questions among these gentlemen who has a technical information about this topic. But please take my answer as an observation about the market. So the transition rule for the carbon emission is very clear, actually. Lower your carbon emissions. That's the basic rule. So in accordance with, to achieve that target, every industry has set their rules, and by countries, by international organizations, there are some specific rules has been set for industrial level. And for automotive industry, there are some different rules, but the basic rule is the complete ban on ICE cars after 2035. This is quite challenging duty for the industry, for European side especially. To reach this target, automotive industry, of course, is aware that it must transform itself. So, depending on that, almost every 2 months or every month, we have heard that new projects for production of new energy vehicles all around the world, from United States to China, from European Union to Turkey. We say Turkey, actually, not Turkey, but I'm still saying Turkey. I'm so sorry from my government. So, as a result of these new investments, announcements, and of course, new energy car manufacturing and sales increasing globally. But when we look at the statistics closely, I don't mean to dump you with the statistics, but I would like to draw your attention to the global new energy vehicle sales figures. In 2023, last year, the battery electric vehicle sales has been increased 30%. You have also mentioned about those kind of statistics. 30% year-over-year increase. And when we look at this year, for the 10 months performance, that increase was only 8%, very lower. But the plug-in HEV sales has been increased 59%. Yes, 59%. That's a huge increase, and we observe that there's a shift from battery electric vehicles to the plug-in HEV vehicles in the market. We can assume that that's good development, still good development, because the PHEV cars still lower your carbon emissions. But if we are targeting to zero carbon emissions, this is saying something to us. Now consumers hesitate for battery electric vehicles. And another thing is that I'm talking about the global market for new energy vehicles, but that market actually is basically consists of only United States, European and Chinese market. 90% of total market consists of these countries, and the rest of the world is still going for ICE cars, I mean internal combustion cars. So we need to also improve our market conditions, and we need to convince the consumers all around the world to use new energy cars. But what could be the reason people shows hesitation to buy electric cars? In the market, in the researches, there are some reasons. They are saying that, first of all, of course, consumers are concerned about the range limitations of the cars. Probably, I'm as a consumer, consumers are not satisfied average 600 kilometers ranges. Consumers are waiting for more. Of course, charging infrastructures and waiting durations, longer durations for charging is another reason for this hesitation. And there's another reason, especially in the Europe side, the total cost of ownership of the electric cars. Of course, running cost of EV cars are lower than the ICE cars, but at the beginning, purchasing costs are quite high. At the beginning in Europe, especially in Europe, the governments were supporting the purchasing EV cars, and now they support this, and consumers stop buying battery electric vehicle cars. And the last one, I observed this reason in my country, in Turkey. Second-hand market issues still confusing about the consumers. 5 years from now, especially Turkish consumers thinking, how can I sell my cars in the second-hand market? Because there's a shelf range for the battery cars. So after 5 years, you can assume that my battery dies in 5 years, and so it's not easy. It's not going to be easy to sell my car. So that's the reason at the beginning why consumers might not to buy electric cars. So this says to me, according to my observations, that the automotive industry must be quick to increase the effectiveness of the new energy cars. I know there are too many R&D activities. Some of them has already mentioned here. There are new technologies coming in battery industry on other energy alternatives in the automotive industry, from solid-state batteries to sodium-ion batteries. And as I said, I'm not a technical guy, but I know that there are very hard, very intensive R&D activities on these issues. Also, there is another hydrogen fuel cell or synthetic fuel research is going on in the industry. I know all of them are extremely promising in increasing the performance of the battery electric cells, but also are extremely expensive researches. So when it comes to your question, what areas should be the collaboration in global automotive industry? There are several areas potentially to cooperate in industry actors. I could say, for example, launching educational campaigns to increase consumer awareness of the benefits and address misconception of about EVs and other clean technologies. Because in the market, as I said, consumers has still hesitation and misconceptions about the EVs and the good sides of EVs. So maybe this sort of training and education or public activities will be a good area for collaboration. And maybe OEMs and suppliers can cooperate in reducing the emissions in supply chain side. Of course, these are the potential areas, but if you'd ask me to pick only one area to cooperate, I will definitely tell you that the R&D activities on energy efficiency in the automotive industry. So, as I said, this is the quickest way to hit the target of zero carbon emissions. And this is, as I said, so expensive. So in order to decrease the prices, global prices of electric cars, you need to also decrease the R&D expenses. In that case, in that perspective of mine, of course, I believe that the automotive industry should cooperate on the energy efficiency area researches. Maybe you may think that what else left to compete each other among automotive companies, but I believe that there is always a way to differentiate yourself among other companies. But in my personal idea, for the sake of reach the greener Earth target, alternative energy resources should not be a competition area, but rather a cooperation area, at least for a while.
Thank you so much. And cooperation, expand your cooperation on education, R&D, and the supply chains. Thank you so much.
所以王部长，您看刚才其实呢，我们这个 Dr. Massage 是给我们一些建议哈，是可以在比如说教育的领域啊，供应链的领域来更多的尝试合作。您认为在这个环节应该怎么样去加强合作来应对这样新出现的一些新挑战？
How should we have more cooperation to manage the challenges? Yes, I think the automobile industry has naturally become a global industry. And in the past decades, sourcing, R&D, production and distribution have all been globalized, and so has the supply chain. And now this culture of cars is also a global culture. We are all interdependent, so you cannot really just create silos anymore between countries or between car makers. Yes, I agree with that. Also, the green and low carbon transition is a global topic too. So the auto industry needs to share responsibilities. At least we need to have more cooperation than competition in order to rise up to these challenges. Now, specifically, how do we work together? I think the previous speakers mentioned the intercompany partnership over R&D and also the up and downstream cooperation across the industrial chain. And I think these are all market-driven efforts to find the best partners that suit your interests. We also actually have the cooperation between industries, in particular when we develop the technologies, when we set the low-carbon standards for the automobiles. You have to have more of these networks so that the industry players can connect. Also, equally important is the intergovernmental cooperation, in particular in areas like the targets, the roadmaps for the green low-carbon transition, and also the policies. I think in these areas, the governments need to communicate with each other, and that way, when we truly want the industry players to join to come in, we could avoid the competition or even conflict between governments. And I think that is very important because the governments set the strategies, they provide the policies, and all of these have to be coordinated. And that way, when we actually take actions on the ground, the globalization of the auto industry and this green transition will not be held back. Now, when we work together, I think our partnership will be put to test by the conflict of interests, but this is where I think we need a different narrative, and that is it's a community of shared interests. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. Mr. Xiao, you are from the industry. What do you think business could do? Well, as Mr. Wang said, you need cooperation for mutual benefits. That's certainly what we ultimately want to achieve. For businesses, internally and externally, it's different. Internally, for us, we actually straddle 6 industries. It takes a long time to develop new materials, and that's how we get to enter many different industries. For example, we produce a 3D glass cover, and this would require the polishing technology, reinforcing technology, and also the membrane technology to be the fingerprint proof and reflection proof. That's from petrochemical. And also you need the transmittance technology to make the glass transmissive, and this again has to do with the auto industry. It beyond really the reach of just one industry, and if you could bring together different industries, you will be able to have something that's really forward-looking. Our life science headquarters are in Seattle, and the construction glass headquarters are in the other country, and we do so because there are local strengths. We had a project in Suzhou during COVID-19, and we need to bring Japanese experts for installation and German and Italian experts for the debugging and testing. So as you can see, you need experts from different countries because science is now increasingly broken down into specialized areas. In some areas, you will only have a couple of the top talents, and you need this cross-sectoral partnership. Also, the intergovernmental partnership. Every country has its strengths. Japan is very good at fundamental science like raw materials, and China is really good at the commercialization and the massive scale out. And that means you don't really have to develop all the technologies yourself. Well, it's true, you might want to take control of some of the key core technologies, but it's not possible for a country to really develop all the technologies. I think a better approach is for everyone to play to their respective strengths. That would shorten the to-market time. Okay, Mr. Shao, you mentioned the governmental cooperation, and Mr. Chen, do you agree? Well, it's still about women cooperation. Geely is a multinational, and when we do our R&D and production, I think we feel this too. In 2023, global revenue was about 500 billion, split between China and the rest of the world, half by half. We also sell to Europe and America. We also produce there too and do R&D.
I fully recognize Mr. Xiao's idea that inside of the company, as a transnational company, we work together with our research institute and also production team from Europe. And also, it will show different brands superficially, but the underlying technologies or the input of research and development technologies we share with each other a lot. And also, another topic is about the ecosystem. Because auto industry is a global industry, how can connect and reach synergy of Europe and the China auto industries? For some, they are supplied from Europe to others, and some are supplied by China and to other countries. So we need to form the synergy, so that because today we hold the CISCE, that we can use the supply chain to reach the synergy of the internal and external resources to realize mutual benefits.
Last but not least, I think Turkey has introduced a series of investment policies, especially to attract the foreign investors, such as the Chinese manufacturer EVs, such as that. So how do you think, how does Turkey can attract this kind of foreign investment, especially from China?
Okay. Thank you. This question. Maybe I missed that part, but I'd like to tell about my institution, what we do in Turkey. Investment Office of Turkey is a governmental institution directly attached to the president himself. And our main duty is promoting and facilitating foreign direct investment into our country. So, and I'm responsible for automotive and mobility industry at the office. I'm working as a project manager. So last couple of months, maybe last year, I spent most of my time with Chinese potential investors, automakers, and battery manufacturers, and other supplier companies. So Turkey has running a serious investment for infrastructure to make better our investment environment. Especially in the aftermath of the deepest financial crisis ever in Turkish history back in 2001, Turkish government has started to run some new reforms in order to improve our investment environment. And from that date till today, at almost 20 years or 21 years, let's say, Turkey succeed to attract almost, let me check my notes, yes, $260 billion for indirect investment in total throughout this period, thanks to these reforms. And now 80,000 international companies are now operating in Turkey. So this is quite an achievement for our country. When it comes to the automotive industry in Turkey, I'd like to give brief information about what we do in Turkey as an automotive country, because we are now hosting 13 OEMs in our country, and 8 of them are the international ones. So this makes us the third biggest motor vehicle manufacturer in Europe after Germany and Spain. And but OEMs are not achieved this achievement alone. We have a great supplier base as well. We have almost 2,000 tier 1 and tier 2 automotive suppliers in our country. And in total, together with our supplier industry, Turkey's automotive export has reached $35 billion last year, which makes this industry the export champion of Turkey. So automotive industry is the most important and most powerful industry in Turkey. But today, now with this green transformation, we know that the Turkish automotive industry also has to transform itself to greener technologies. And we have to keep up with this transformation. So this transformation expectation in the market urges Turkish government to take some actions. For example, firstly, back in 2022, in June, Ministry of Industry has published a roadmap which called as Mobility Technologies Roadmap. Within roadmap, government has set some targets and give some promises. For example, government says that I will support buying, manufacturing, and using electric cars. So, and these supports are there now, and so electric cars, vehicle sales is going very good in Turkey. Secondly, a new incentive package has been released by the Ministry of Industry under a High Technology 2030 program for dedicated only to electric car vehicle manufacturers and battery cell manufacturing. Those two incentive packages in total almost $10 billion package. And thanks to this package, up to now, we have achieved $2 billion investment bring to Turkey. I don't know, I'm sure you have all heard that BYD has announced a new investment to Turkey, but the one Chinese is never enough for us. We are still expecting more Chinese motor companies here. And also we have another battery cell investment from China. Maybe you know or you don't know, we have a Turkish electric car brand named TOG. This brand has been launched 2023, quite new brand, and TOG has formed a joint venture with the Chinese battery cell manufacturer, Farasis. Chinese says Funan, the name is Funan. This is a $2 billion investment in Turkey, and we are expecting they will start battery cell manufacturing in 2026. This is a great achievement for us, but as I said, we are still expecting more investment. And, together with these incentive packages and these improvements in investment environment in Turkey, and together with the talented and young labor force, and also Turkey's unique geostrategic location, these factors make Turkey the great investment location for especially Chinese car manufacturer. Why I'm saying Chinese? Because, I said in Turkey there are 8 international companies from France, from United States, from Japan, from Korea, Italy, etc., from Germany, of course. But there is one piece missing from China, and together with BYD, maybe you might think that this piece is there, but this is, as I said, not enough for us. Why Turkey is the best location for Chinese car manufacturers? Because now Chinese go abroad, and they are targeting European and United States markets. Turkey is a member of European Customs Union. In Turkey, we thought that everybody knows this, but I aware that actually this is not a well-known information. But Turkey is a member of Customs Union, which means that Turkey is not a member of European Union. But in any case, if you make your manufacturing in Turkey, you can sell your products without any custom duty to European Union markets. So that's great to be in Turkey because you don't have to deal with European bureaucracy. This is not European Union, but you can sell your cars into European markets. I believe this is a great thing. And also Turkey has signed 30 free trade agreements with 30 different countries. And together with the population of Turkey, if you come to Turkey, you can access 1 billion consumers without any custom duty. That's a great advantage for Chinese and other companies, of course. But this is a sort of symbiotic relationship. You know, we also need those companies because this is my observation again, because I said so many meetings with Chinese automakers, and they are very open to share technology. And so this will be quicker for us to transform our automotive industry because we need to transform and keep pace with the electrification automotive industry, global automotive industry. So, and we have to also transform our supplier base. Our supplier base, we have great supplier companies, but some of those companies only make manufacturing for ICE cars. We need to transform them, and together with Chinese companies, I believe that we can make this transformation in Turkey quicker. So, as I said, Turkey is a great location, in my personal opinion. I'm not saying that this is my country. And I believe that those measures which is taken by government and those other factors will be accelerate the investments from China to Turkey.
Yeah, Turkey is a very good place to welcome all the investments.
Yes, absolutely. Not only for the automotive industry.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Massage.
Thank you.
最后的一个问题还是想给到陈总啊。那这次我们的这个
The last question from Mr. Chen. So today we talk about the low carbon era of the ICV. We talk about upstream and downstream chains and also how the companies work together to encounter challenges. So what are the most important message you want to share with us, Mr. Chen? So first of all, the challenge comes from us to rise to the challenge of the low carbon transition. First of all, I talk about it from my personal point of view. Last week, I participated into the conference in Shenzhen. I have an idea. Although we take the lead for the new energy vehicle industry, but the competition among the new energy vehicle company in China is much more competitive. Of course, very good news that for the lithium battery, that one was previously led by OEM, and mainly the changes of size, and then our battery manufacturers take the lead of the size changes of the batteries. I think this is a relevant topic. This is a very good sign. Because of this sign, we can promote the development of a new energy vehicle from our point of view. Another one is about the synergy of the industry. My idea is as follows. It is as what I mentioned. Thank you for your sharing, and also thanks for all the participants. And also because these 2 days are very cold in Beijing, and we still feel that the temperature in our venue rises up. And that's the end of our second session. And thank you for your participation and all of your support. Thank you all. So all the guests, please come back to your seats. Thanks for the moderator and all the guests. And that's the end for the thematic event on the vehicle. So here, as the organizer, we would like to show our sincere thanks to the ICBC and also Wuliangye Company and Transportation Bank and also the People's Life Insurance, and look forward to meeting you next year. And thank you for your participation. That's all for today. Thank you.